great place to be, a great place to learn, a great place for education.
This is BB 101 Radio, breaking barriers.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all our listeners today.
Yes, it's been a week, partner. And we are back.
There you have it. I'm Shay,
And I'm Kervin.
and
And
this
this
is
is BB One on One Radio.
Hello, partner.
Hello. Hello, partner.
Are you alright?
Yeah, as I've told you last week, I'm flabbergasted. Still, I'm gonna use the same expression.
Okay. Right. Well, this week is going to be a fun-filled week.
Mhm.
Do you want to ask me why?
Sure, give me the privilege to ask you why. Why do you think that it's gonna be a fun-filled week?
Right.
Partner?
Because partner, last time or last week for me it was such a great week because I came across lots of pages online. And that's the time that I've realized that it is a good thing to browse these days, especially now that people are not doing a lot of things or most of them are not working. So browsing online, especially on social media sites, can really help you improve in different ways. For example, in online businesses, right? That's one thing, or it could be English, for example. Right. How about you? Are you part of a specific group? Let's say on Facebook.
Facebook.
Yeah.
let me let me be reminded of that. I have written it here. Yes.
Oh.
So
Really?
I recently joined Everyday English Philippines, and I was
Mm.
surprised to know that they're giving tricks or tips, right, or trivias, and of course on how are we going to improve your skills and confidence, which is
Oh.
pretty important. Yeah.
Right. So that's indeed useful if that's the case. I actually want to improve
Mhm.
myself with regards to the tricks and hacks because that's how we learn, right? Yeah, it's all about making things easier for you. Because let's say when it comes to grammar rules, when it comes to pronunciation rules, there are always there's always a trick for that, and all you have to do is to search for it. And it's good that there are these kinds of online pages that can help you out with the needs that you want to that you have, for example.
So, partner, you know what? I'm just curious. So you're interested and you wanted to know more about these English in a nutshell?
Yes, I want to improve more when it comes to that, and I want to share it to a lot of people who want to improve their English skills as well.
Okay, great. You know what? Go ahead and follow their social media accounts that are being flashed on your screen.
Right. So that is Everyday English Philippines.
Yes, Everyday English Philippines.
So that's for our local listeners, right? So
Yeah.
if you are a non-native speaker of English and you want to improve your skills, all you have to do is to go ahead and search that on Facebook. Right. And as for our international students or viewers and listeners, I believe that Fitz Language is the counterpart of Everyday English Philippines. So all you have to do is to search Fitz Language or join their group, right? That is being flashed on your screen.
Yes, indeed.
Right.
Okay.
So this episode, partner, is going to be an exciting and informative episode as we are going to talk about, guess what?
What is that?
Right, we are going to talk about stories behind common English expressions.
Stories. You know, I'm pretty excited to know more stories.
Right, so it's really exciting. For me, this is one of the good episodes that we're going to release, right? And we're going to have a what are we going to have for today, partner?
Oh, of course, we're not gonna forget something about this talk, which is Learners Talk It Out. It's a 15-minute radio talk that is filled with exciting and mind blowing ideas.
Right. Speaking of mind blowing ideas, how about you? To all our viewers and listeners, do you have any ideas or comments about our topic for today? Right. So if you have any comments or suggestions, reactions about our topic for today, just comment down below and get involved.
Yes, I almost forgot. Oh, we have this special segment, which is a question and answer portion.
Exactly. I'm quite excited about it. Right. I always wanted to have a discussion, and it's like discussing things that are quite confusing for others. So for me, it's really good that we're talking about things out that is going to be easier for other people to understand, especially non-native speakers, right? And for our Spanish viewers, this is for you because most of the questions came from Spanish students. Right?
That's right.
Okay, so stay with us in the next 30 minutes of our show. And coming up next is Learners Talk It Out after a short break.
Job interview. Job interview is one of the most challenging parts of our lives after graduating in a university. We got trembling knees and nerves, but that's just a usual scenario, and that's reasonable. Your life and your entire career might depend on how you answer questions. Why worry? If you can take advantage of our intensive training with our experienced personnel. Here at fitslanguage.com, we will make sure that you are fully equipped to our proven techniques on how to give your best shot when you are already sitting in front of the HR manager or even the CEO of the company. Make it seamless. Do it smart and confidently. Start with our team at fitslanguage.com.
Welcome back, and you're still listening to BB One-on-One Radio.
All right. First, I can say, partner, that there is a silver lining in everything.
That's a good expression, silver lining.
Exactly. Do you know the meaning of silver lining?
Well, I made a research for that.
Oh,
You
you're
know,
prepared.
it has been used by Miss Catriona Gray,
Oh,
former Miss Universe.
do you watch pageants?
Well, real men watch pageants.
Really?
But that's a good idiomatic expression, though.
All right. Yeah, I have to agree that it's really a good expression, not just with the words, but with the meaning itself, right? When I say silver lining, it's looking at the things in a positive way,
Yes.
right? It's similar to turning tables,
Yeah.
right? But it's more like what or how are you going to make the negative things into a positive one that it's going to be favorable on your end. So that is an example of the meaning of turning tables, right? So that is an example of idiomatic expressions. Right. You know what, partner? English idioms plays a huge role in the English language.
Idioms.
Yes.
Okay. Could you please tell me? Let's use. Could you please educate me, partner?
Oh, educate me. Right. To sound more like a native speaker, you have to incorporate yourself with the English language. I mean, by having or using words that are advanced. And one of that is idiomatic expression. Have you ever had a conversation with someone and you weren't able to catch what the person has said?
Yeah. I remember an instance wherein it's hard for me to understand what someone was trying to say because all what I'm doing was I am translating it word by word.
Right, that's gonna be a problem, not just for one person, but for a lot of English learners, right?
That's right.
They tend to translate it word by word or literally, which is something that is not going to help them, especially if it's going to be about idiomatic expressions because they don't have the literal translation of the words being used in English, right? That's the meaning of idiomatic expression. So, usage of words that don't have the literal translation from the words being used. Right? So, do not take it literally. That's what they say about idiomatic expressions, right?
Of course. Do not.
And yeah, and especially when you're watching some films, right? Especially that they're using collocations and idiomatic expressions. Sometimes we find it hard to understand, but we know the gist, right? The main idea of what the person or the character is saying. It's just that we don't know how we're going to re-echo that, since watching could also be a way to learn, right? That could also be a way to learn. It's when you're going to watch it, so you listen and you understand at some point, and you are going to echo the information, right?
That's right. And what's more interesting is today's podcast is, of course, going to be something about the stories behind those common English expressions.
Right. I'm quite excited on how we're going to talk about the meanings of these idiomatic expressions. So these are expressions that we tend to use in our daily basis. Right?
Yes, for example, like bite the bullet to chasing pavements.
Exactly. Chasing Pavements. That's a song, right? I mean, a title of a song.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
could could you please try? I have a lot of time to listen to your song.
I don't sing though, but I will give you the lyrics of that song. It's like, should I give up or should I just keep chasing pavements? That's one thing.
Wow. So we're gonna uncover some of those words. Maybe not literally that kind of expression, but we have top 5 idioms that we're gonna discuss and that you use every day. So
Exactly.
these are pretty common, right? So are you excited to know the stories about those common or idiomatic expressions?
Well, I am. How about you? Comment down below for us to know your thoughts. Right, and let's get started with the first idiomatic expression, partner. This is something that is really common, especially to those who are just starting to learn the language, or perhaps they want to improve their confidence in speaking. If I'm going to tell you a story, I am a shy person. I don't normally speak in front. So I just hone my skills through teaching and of course meeting lots of people. So breaking the ice, or to break the ice, is the first expression that I can give to you. But have you ever wondered what is the meaning of that, or how did they come up with that expression, right?
Yes. So let's hear the story behind it.
Okay, so I actually have this one from one of the most common sites, that is the Intrepid Guide. So according to the Intrepid Guide, break the ice has a specific meaning, means to end conflict or initiate friendship. Breaking the ice.
Break the ice.
Alright. That's something that is really different. That's one thing that is cool when it comes to idiomatic expressions, right? You will think that it's really far from the meanings, right? From the literal translation. So it's like break the ice. You wouldn't thought that it's like initiating a friendship.
That's right. You know what? When I heard that kind of expression, break the ice, I was thinking of Titanic. You know, when...
Oh.
Okay, that's a lame joke. So we can go ahead.
And I wasn't born yet that time. Just kidding.
That's a good movie, right?
Yeah, I have to agree with that. So, in this case, if I'm gonna tell you the story or the history of that expression. It's more on this one. According to the Intrepid Guide, this phrase originates from the 1980s or 1580s rather, referring to the carving of ice to create passages for ships on trade routes. So they say that it's more like in the winter. So they are breaking the ice. It's more like literally breaking the ice for them to be able to trade from one place to another. That's the literal meaning. I mean, it was created. The phrase was created because of the literal translation of it, which is breaking something for them to be able to go to another place to trade their products.
Interesting. So it's almost connected with my joke earlier, right? So I'm still gonna push for that joke about Titanic
Yeah.
breaking the ice. So I remember, partner. There is I was part of a public speaking group, and there is a segment there like icebreaker.
Icebreaker.
So you're gonna understand from that kind of title that it's for, it could be a game or an activity, it could be a joke, when, especially for those people who don't know each other, and they want to feel good, they feel easy and relaxed or comfortable together. So it's the first phase is the icebreaker activity.
Oh, okay. So, what's the aim of that icebreaker activity?
Yeah. So it's for you to remove or release the tension,
I
the
see.
nervousness.
Okay, so breaking the ice. Yeah, I have to agree that it's when you are in front of a lot of people, you tend to get nervous and you're sweating at some point, which is something that I've experienced. How about you? Have you experienced that kind of agony? Can we say that as agony?
Yes, we all do experience that. I'm pretty sure that a lot of listeners or viewers are or can relate to this kind of experience. So yes, I believe it's normal. That's why breaking the ice has been created, or this icebreaker activity has been created to break the ice, partner.
Exactly. So, how about you? How do you normally break the ice? Comment down below and share us your stories. All right. Do you have any idiomatic expression?
Yes,
there
of course, I do have.
partner.
Yeah.
Said it with F.
with the, well, we'll start with the expression butter someone up.
Oh, butter
Yes.
someone up. What does it mean?
So it's of course to praise or flatter someone excessively.
Okay.
Miss Beautiful. I believe you can relate with that one.
That was a crazy joke.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's the idea. So let me read where the origin is. So it came from the same source, I guess. Right.
Yes.
So origin. I'm gonna change the tone now.
Okay.
In ancient India, is or was the custom to throw butter balls of ghee. So clarified butter commonly used in Indian cooking.
Oh.
So butter someone up at the statues of the gods to seek favor and forgiveness. So that's the idea. They're throwing butter balls to or at the statues of the gods to seek favor and forgiveness. And it has been a tradition dating back to the Tang dynasty. So that's a lot of stories to tell. But that's the idea. And now it involves the creating sculptures from butter to New Year with the belief that such offering would bring peace and happiness during full lunar year.
So butter someone up.
Yeah, butter someone up. To praise or flatter someone excessively.
Okay. So when you are praising someone excessively, so you're buttering up someone.
Yes, that's
Or
right.
buttering someone up.
Someone up. Yeah, I want all of our listeners and our viewers to be mindful of that. There are expressions or idiomatic expressions that can put the subject the object in between that expression, right? Butter someone up instead of butter up someone.
Yes.
Right.
So whenever you have realized that your sentence is incorrect, all you have to do is to say rather, right?
Rather.
So, for example, I said to butter up someone or butter someone up, rather. So that's an indication that you have realized your mistake and you immediately corrected that. Which is important, right? It's okay to make mistakes as long as you're gonna correct it.
That's right.
So butter up or butter someone up. They say that when you tend to hear the incorrect one, you re-echo that at some point.
Okay. Butter someone up, right? So it seems like there are cases wherein when you're saying something and there's something with your tongue, partner, and I believe the next idiom that we have is connected to that. Could you please
Right.
help me?
Yes, that is one common expression as well. When we say cat got your tongue, it's more like in a form of question, right? Cat got your tongue? So, do you have any idea about the meaning of that expression?
Yeah, cut got your tongue.
Okay, so cat got your tongue is a common expression that we use whenever we want to say that, like this, you're lost for words. So if you cannot explain yourself with words, for example, the person will normally ask you, like,
Okay.
so we say, hey, cat got your tongue?
Yeah.
That one.
It's happening right now.
Okay, so let us know the origin of that from the Intrepid Guide.
Yes, please.
Right, according to this, that there are two possible meanings when it comes to the usage or the origin of that. First is we have, or I'm just gonna mention the second one, which is something that is more relatable.
Okay.
So this one has to deal with liars. Okay. So before, when you lie, there is going to be a punishment. This is more from medieval times, right? So if you lied, that which is going to affect, let's say, the government or governance that they have, your tongue is going to get cut. So that is where you cannot speak, of course, partner. Yes, so according to that, liars were punished by having their tongues cut out. So that is a sad story.
Wow. The funny thing here is I'm worried so much. I don't know. Perhaps because I'm a liar? No, at least, well, it's just not the medieval time anymore.
Yes.
Right?
So it is not as morbid as before.
I'm lucky. I'm living this. You guys are lucky. You're listening here. You're enjoying the
Exactly.
topic. You're improving your listening ability, and you're learning a lot from these stories that we have.
Right.
Got your tongue?
Right. And when was the last time that you have experienced that? All you have to do is to comment down below, all right, and tell us your stories. Let's talk about it. And do you have anything there, partner? Aside from cut got your tongue and break the ice, what other idiomatic expressions do you have?
I'm looking at our room right now, and it's more about the colors, and it's about blue. But that's
Blue.
just a segue because I'm gonna introduce something about color red. So I mean about red color. So this is something about caught red-handed.
Caught red-handed
Yes.
or red-handed. I often hear of that on the news. So what is the meaning of that?
Oh, sure. Let me share that for you. So, it means when someone got caught red-handed, someone got caught in the act of doing something, especially doing something wrong. Say, well, there are a lot, I believe.
Yeah.
What about you? When was the last time that you got caught red-handed?
Well, I have never experienced that. If you're talking about the bad things, let's say doing something and then someone has caught you. So I have never experienced that, but it's more like I was hiding and then someone has seen me. So that is something that I have experienced in the past, but I cannot really recall on the exact date or moment that I've experienced that. How about you, Werner? Have you ever experienced that? Getting caught red-handed?
I'm good at that. But no, let me tell you a story. When I was younger, I remembered that my I love sweets. So my father kept a jar of chocolates in the
Okay.
fridge or refrigerator, and when I opened it because I sneaked out because
Oh.
it's late at night, I was expecting that no one is awake, and boom, I got caught red-handed.
Oh, so what happened next?
We'll find it out. I'll create an expression to that on what happened next. But that's the story. I got caught red-handed. So
Okay.
when you get caught doing something wrong, you caught in the act. That's the idea. So I believe there's also an origin about it. So dating
ahead.
back to Scotland in 1432. This term refers to an old English law that sought the punishment of any person who butchered an animal that wasn't his own. So that's the story.
Okay, so it's more like literally.
Yep. So it's
Oh.
like the blood of that animal that I butchered, and that's it. You caught me red-handed. There's the blood on
I
my hand.
see. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't realize, or if you're going to realize it, partner, most of the idiomatic expressions were created from the literal meaning, right? It
Yeah.
is being used to refer to the exact definition from the words being used.
That's
So,
right.
see how English evolves through the years and centuries, right? It's been a really long time, and now we're mixing words as well, right? Like we have sport, for example, it's a combination of spoon and pork together. Sport, right? Phablet, and it's like phone and tablet. Right? Those words are really common these
Wow.
days. It's like having two in one. It's like hitting two birds with one stone, which is also in the idiomatic expression, right? So it's everywhere. I mean, idiomatic expressions are everywhere. It's amazing.
So I just find it funny. I'm trying to imagine earlier when you were saying this. This fork is
Fork.
fork, right? Oh, so since that you use the, so it either both, right? You can use your fork on the left and the other one's on the right, and then so how are you going to use this fork,
Fork.
right?
Yeah, it's fork.
So they have to use it by using
Yeah,
the two hands.
together. No, only one. But it could also be used to eat pasta, for example. Well, we normally have we have separate ways on how we're gonna use the utensils. So it's more like making things more convenient. Because people don't want to bring a lot, right? Now we want smaller phones, we want slimmer phones, we want to have like few things in which we can have a lot. Let's say flash drive, right? Nowadays, people would like to bring flash drive instead of bringing their laptop for them to be able to print something, right? So they want convenience, or we want convenience.
Yeah. Okay. Pretty interesting. Now, earlier I was talking about the hand. Now, what if we talk something about leg, partner?
Leg. Okay, that's part of the body. We're talking about those things. Yeah, if you have mentioned caught red-handed, I also have one which is pull someone's leg,
Yes.
right? Have you ever heard or have you ever used that expression?
Pull someone's leg. Yeah, I used to pull my dog's leg.
Literally, right?
Yeah, but
Or it could be. Let's see. So, what's the meaning of pull someone's leg.
Yeah,
So,
let's hear that, please.
yes. When we say pull someone's leg, it's all about tricking. Okay. So if you want to trick or fool someone, you are pulling their legs, right? So that's one thing.
So it's like, sorry
Yeah,
to
go
cut
ahead.
you there. It's like pulling means fooling.
That could be pulling or what's the one that you've mentioned?
Fooling, pulling means fooling.
Yeah, pulling and
Because
fooling.
you're tricking someone by pulling someone's leg.
I remember your dog's name.
Fool-
Well,
I'm pretty sure you can relate to that joke, but never mind.
yeah, because the name of my partner's dog is Pulling.
So,
See, the the world is so small.
yeah, it's
With those
connected.
words. Yeah, and I have asked you the question because I have a memory of a fish, which is also an idiomatic expression.
Ooh,
I
memory
tend to
of a
forget things in a really fast way, like in a snip of my hands or fingers rather.
So, partner, that's the idea of memory
yeah, it's when you say I have a memory of a
of
fish,
fish.
right? So it means that you can forget something easily. So that's the meaning. Right, going back to the idiomatic expression that I've mentioned, which is pulling someone's leg.
Okay.
It's more on tricking or fooling someone. And the origin of that has to deal with the tripper. Okay. When you're tripping someone up, for example, you're walking and I'm gonna trip you and then you're gonna fall on the ground. So
Yeah.
that's basically one thing, right? Pulling your leg originally referred to the way the tripper up tried to make someone stumble. So now it's being used figuratively,
That's right.
which is something similar as well. If you want to fool someone, so you're gonna trip that person, right?
Pull someone's leg.
Yep.
Okay, there you have it. Have it, rather. So we talked about the stories behind top 5 common idiomatic expressions, right? So what stories that shocked you? You can comment down below and tag your friends for them to get involved.
Right. Stay tuned to BB 101 Radio, and coming up next is our Q&A session after a short break.
Grammar. One word, but seems too complicated. Languages around the world have certain rules to follow, and English is of no exception. Most non-native speakers have difficulty in mastering the structure of the language. Well, to make it simpler, it takes long years of continuous study and practice to master any structure of any second language. Is it too confusing or nerve-wracking for you? You need help, and we are here for you. So how do we do the classes here at fitslanguage.com? Personalized and individualized instructions are our key advantage. We are focusing on your weaknesses in this area and transforming it as your strengths. With our one-on-one teaching approach, a great percentage of success is surely attainable. Our competent teachers are here to give you what you need in English grammar. So come and join us here at fitslanguage.com.
Welcome back. Congratulations for making it this far. So, partner, in this segment, we are going to answer the confusions that you have in English. Right, so last week, partner, we have launched our podcast series. So, we have received a lot of feedback and questions from our listeners and viewers all over Europe and the rest of the world. So it has to deal with grammar and pronunciation. So for this segment, we will answer and discuss it to you one by one. So let's get started with your partner.
Oh yes. Yeah, I have a list of questions here, and the first question was from from Marina from Barcelona, Spain.
Oh, hi,
So,
Marina.
hello, and of course to all of those people who are close to Barcelona, and especially in Barcelona. Right now, her question was, why can't modal verbs go together with preposition in a sentence?
Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, that's one of the most common confusions. So why?
Why? So the answer is pretty simple, and of course we're gonna explain it further. Right? The answer is simply because modal verbs are helping verbs. It could be quite confusing, but let's explain further. Let's use one of those common mistakes, like I can to do it. Right? Can is a modal verb there.
Exactly.
And why is it wrong to say I can and then to do? So why? That's the question there. Why can't modal verbs go together with preposition? So you can't. Why? Because modal verbs are helping verbs. So let's try to understand what modal verbs are. So when you believe something is certain or possible or impossible, so we use modal verbs. We also use them to do things like to talk about ability, ask permission, request, and offer. So I have a list here, and let's apply it in a realistic way. So say, for instance, probability. I might not attend the class later.
Okay.
So might not and attend. I say I might not to attend the class, right? So we can also use it for ability. This is a good story to tell. Ability. I remember there was an applicant who passed the resume, and she stated there that I can I can speak English fluently. Next is I can write English. Speaking spontaneously, of course. And next is I can live. And then the next is I can love. I can reach the heavens above.
Is that like a song for that?
No, but that's the idea. We're using I can, right? Plus
exactly.
the verb. You cannot say I can to do. That's the ability for can. We can also use it for a permission. Can I ask for your number?
Okay.
So you're asking for a permission. We used to say that when I was younger. Yeah. Next, of
Old
course,
times.
yeah, we also have for request, right? Most of an informal way of expressing oneself is repeat, please. So if you're going to use modal verb, you can sound more polite, in a polite way. So you can say, could you please repeat that for me? So it matters, right? That's for permission. We also have some requests or suggestions. So we can discuss those things like can, could, may, might, will, would, and modal verbs have. So that's the same process. You can comment down below for your confusions. And for some examples, you're using it properly, right? So yes, get involved.
Exactly. So all you have to do is to write down your sentences that uses or use modal verbs, right?
That's
We have
right.
lots of modal verbs that have different usage, right? So it
Modal
could
verbs.
be the request, probability, those words that you have mentioned. Right. Thanks for that, partner.
So
Yeah.
if I'm gonna generalize it, that's my answer, Marina. All right, let me repeat that. Modal verbs are helping verbs. That is the reason they can't be with the preposition.
There you have it. So, according to her, I tend to get confused about the difference between adjectives ending in ing and ed. What's the difference? Okay, Louise. So, words or adjectives ending in ed and ing. This is a pretty common confusions. I have to agree with that. most students are having some difficulties on how they're going to express themselves. They tend to say, "Oh, I'm interesting," and "Oh, I'm boring." So that was like, it's going to sound unnatural for some non-native speakers or native speakers if they're going to hear you saying that. So let me clarify that for you and for all of our listeners and viewers today. So when we say whenever we are using adjectives that ends in ed, okay, or I'm referring to those pairs, okay. For example, boring and bored, interesting, interested, okay. So if it's the ed, okay, it normally describes the emotion. Okay, it's when you're going to describe your emotion, you normally use the ed endings of the adjective, while ing talks about the thing that causes you to feel that way. For example, a boring lesson makes you feel bored, right? Does that make any sense to you? So that's how you're going to view things, okay? Just have that as a trick, because this is the trick that I'm giving to you. So all you have to do is to think that ed talks about the emotion, to describe yourself or to describe your emotion at the moment, and ing talks about the reason why you're feeling that way. Why are you bored? Because this is boring, right? Why are you tired? Because this is tiring.
Amazing.
Right? So that's basically the meaning of that. Well, thanks, Louise, for sending your concern. I hope you were able to understand the meaning, and if you were able to get that correctly, comment down below.
Okay.
All right.
I believe we have some more. Do we have some questions here?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, here. The next one is Sergio of Madrid. Yeah. I don't know. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. Some say Sergio or Sergio. So
Yeah, Sergio.
yeah. His question was, what are the differences between articles and the? So I want a fast answer for that. Okay, if you want a fast answer, so there are big differences between these articles. So and the. So we'll start with the way you write it. You can simply say plus a subject that has consonant in it, not the vowel. Say, for instance, a man. So M is a consonant, right? So that's the simplest way of looking at it. A man. Of course, it should be singular, right? A man, a
Okay.
woman.
So if I'm gonna say a man, is that not? I mean, isn't it possible?
That's gonna be weird, partner. Because we can only use this article for singular form, a man. How about for an? So I cannot say an man, but an, it should be with the vowel, right?
Vowel.
Vowel. So what vowels are? Of course, we have A, E, I, O, U. So an orange, an umbrella.
Okay. And I have a question for that.
Sure.
Since you have
Throw it.
mentioned the AEIOU, what about to those cases that say university? Should I say a or an?
Got my tongue. No, it's pretty simple. What we have to follow is the sound. Although it's evident. Sorry, yeah. Why, Kervin? You're saying that it should be vowel, but if you're gonna listen to the sound, university. It seems like it's gonna start. It's gonna start with Y, like university.
Okay.
It's gonna be a university. It's almost the same with honest.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's H, right? So
Yes.
I cannot say a honest person. It should be an honest person, because that should came from the sound. So it, for me to generalize it, it should be the vowel sound, not the vowel letters.
Okay, so it does not deal with spelling, but the sound it produces.
The sound, yes.
Okay.
Thank you. What about the expression the? The expression the word the. that I'm using. So it's specifically for a specific subject. So the I am the man that you're looking for.
Oh.
I am. Or I am not
man.
the man that you're looking for. The idea is the specific subject.
Okay, I got it now. And I'm sure that our listeners and even the sender, which is Sergio, was able to understand that expression or the meaning, for example. That's one of the common mistakes as well, right? Or areas for improvement.
Okay.
It's when students tend to use the article the in their speech. Let's say the people, right? The men, even though they are not talking about a specific person or group of people.
Okay.
So, like what you have mentioned, it is being used if you're referring to someone in specific. Let's say, I want the bag over there, right? I want the person watching right now.
Yes.
Okay.
So, Sergio, you're the man.
You're the man. Okay, there you have it. And another thing, partner, it's when we use the article the, right?
Okay.
Have you ever wondered why we say the Philippines, the United States, the USA, which is the United States itself, and the United Kingdom? I was about to say the United Kingdom. Okay, so why do we use the? Why don't we say the Spain? Why don't we say the Russia?
Could you please help me why? What's the idea?
Okay, so we use the article the in there, partner. It's when we are going to talk about group, okay? If you have mentioned Philippines is a group of islands,
Okay.
so we say the Philippines. USA is a group of states. That's the reason why we say the USA. And United Kingdom, well, from the word united. So we say the United Kingdom. We don't just say Philippines, USA, or UK.
Okay.
We say it with the article the.
The.
So that's basically the definition or the explanation for that confusion. Right. So do you know any other places that use the article the? So comment down below for you to interact with us. And I have another one, which is from Raquel. Raquel is from Asturias. Okay, so most of our senders are from Spain. I must say that. So according to her, is another people grammatically correct? What a good question. So it has to deal with the words another and other. Okay, so from the word another, okay, that comes as a word, we use that when we're talking about a specific person, okay, or one. We're talking about singular form, right? Or when we say other, it has to come with plural form. Let's say other people. So it is not grammatically correct to say another people because it has to be another person or other people, okay? Right. Do you have anything to add in there, Porter?
Yeah, cool thoughts. It's another interesting idea to add.
Exactly. And do you have other ideas to tell?
That's gonna be another story when we come back in this segment.
Yes, in
Right.
another episode
In another
that we're
episode.
going to have in another day or another week. Or we can say other week. Can we say other week, partner?
Other week. Yeah. If you're gonna focus, it's the same thing, right? If you're gonna focus with the subject itself, it's another week, right? Another group of weeks.
Okay, another week.
Yeah.
Right. So you can just say next week, right?
Next week, yeah.
For you not to get confused, for example.
Another and other. So do you have another question from who's that? Raquel?
I actually don't have, but we have an anonymous sender. Perhaps he or she is shy. Okay, so according to that person, I have a confusion when it comes to make and do. Okay, so when it comes to make and do, it has to deal with what is going to be the subject or what's going to be the object of your action. So when we say make, it's more on something that has to be followed, or let's say a noun has to follow that word. Okay, let's say I'm gonna make a cake. You don't say I'm gonna do a cake. You say I'm gonna make a cake. All right. So
Cool.
if one thing that you have to take a look at or to look forward to is the end product. Okay, cake. You say cake. I'm gonna make a cake. So cake is a noun, while do follows the verb, right? So we say I'm gonna do an exercise today. So that's one thing. That's the difference between make or do. If you're gonna use the word make, then make sure that you are going to follow that with a noun. If you're gonna say do, make sure that it's gonna be followed by a verb. So noun versus verb, partner. Okay.
Interesting.
Yes. It's really interesting to talk about things like those, partner. Those things that we have mentioned.
Okay.
It's because we are going to educate people on how they're going to learn English in a practical way, right? Because learning English is fun and easy. All you have to do is to know the tricks and hacks, and that's one thing that you're going to learn here in our Q&A session.
That's right. Yes, shall I say, learning English is definitely challenging, but doable, right? Just like any other languages in the world. If you are just starting to learn or struggling at the moment, always think that it is normal and it happens. So best speakers were once a beginner.
I have to agree with that. So don't give up and keep on striving. And if you want to practice your English skills, all you have to do is to keep on studying and keep on listening, right? You need guidance basically from an English teacher or any other ways on how you're going to learn the English language.
That's right. So, are you ready to step ahead of your game?
Right.
So, I believe I should ask them because
Yeah.
I believe you're ready. You're confident to that, right? So, are you ready to step ahead of your game?
Right.
So, comment down below for us to know your thoughts.
Yes, and stay tuned to BB 101 Radio for more updates. Right, and partner, it has been a fast yet productive day. I didn't actually notice the time. Well, time flies so fast. An idiomatic expression.
It's a good expression. Time flies.
Time flies. I didn't notice it, right? So to the listeners who stayed with us all throughout our show, thanks a lot. And I know that you were able to learn, and all you have to do is to echo the information that you have learned today. And we hope to see you next time.
And of course, by the way, don't forget to visit our social media sites that are on screen.
Right, once again, I am Shay.
And I am Kervin.
And this is
BB 101 Radio.
All right, we'll see you in our next episode. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.